Korea, which lately has been the top story of this year.
In North Korea, there has been so many problems. The military, the nuclear threats, the economy, and the government, and the human rights being violated. It literally won't stop. Before we get into all the topics, let's talk about the economy that's occurring in North Korea.
The citizens of North Korea are going through an extreme starvation, and it's because of the economy, which spent all their money in the military in 1990, and so they went bankrupt because of that.
Because of all the money that's going towards the military, there's no more money left for the civilians to build crop fields.
The United States tried to help by sending food out for the people who are starving, but Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea today, denied everything we sent. 40% of children under the age of 5 have been starving to death.
Roughly 18 million people in North Korea are starving, which is 41% of the population.
So what is their government doing to help the North Koreans? Well, we think you can figure this out for yourself. They're not doing anything. 240,000 out of 3,500,000 North Koreans, they die of starvation.
And a human body can only survive 2 weeks without food, and that is all because of the military.
For women in North Korea, you are forced to enlist at age 17, and you must serve until you are 23 years old. For men, you must serve a period minimum 10 years.
So for both men and women, they are eligible to enlist at the age of 15.
Billions of dollars were spent only on the military. Nothing was left for the civilians. Kim Jong-un wanted it this way because he only wanted to make his military strong.
If only the North Korean people could do something about this, but we all know their human rights are being violated. In total, there are 30 basic human rights that are being violated in North Korea.
Every single one of those rights have been violated and are continuing to be violated in North Korea. I know that one human right is the right to be able to live in freedom and safety.
It's hard to think that the North Koreans do not have the right of freedom or safety at all.
If the North Koreans say even one thing that goes against their government, it only takes one word before they can be executed, thrown into a prison camp. As far as the education in North Korea, research says that they take the education very seriously in North Korea. It's because they need to be able to teach the children in North Korea that they need to love their leaders, that the leaders are doing everything for them in North Korea, even though it's hard to imagine that they could think that after everything that they've been going through.
In their education system, they focus on science and technology, but not for the person's individual career. It's for the government so they can carry on with their research.
The education in North Korea is very different from the education in the United States and even from the rest of the world because they are taught in communist ways. There are 3 main universities in North Korea. The first is Koryo Sungkwan Kwan, the second is Kim Shizek Technical University, and the third is Kim II Sung University.
Students who are loyal to the North Korean party and with a desirable social class are given recommendations by their instructors to go on into higher education. Students who do not get any recommendations work at mines, farms, or join the military. If they're not cut out for the education system, they have a rough way to live.
There is a student education and an adult education. Adult education is very well supported over in North Korea. However, the only children who get a strong education is the most talented and the most brilliant children in the most elite class in society.
These 3 schools make sure that everyone has some sort of education in them. The people who just have to believe the system they are taught.
Speaking of believing, the Koreans have no freedom of religion. The most practiced religion is Buddhism, and that is the religion they are forced to practice. However, there are other religion practice, which is Confucianism, and there's a small minority of Christianity.
Confucianism is a belief of mercy, to put it simply. But in reality, there's no mercy shown in North Korea because if the people are caught teaching or following different religion, they could be sent to working camps, publicly executed, and their families could disappear.
Organized religion is potentially seen as a threat to the Kim regime.
Being caught and sent to labor camps or being publicly executed is a bit too extreme for something so little.
There are 5 political prison camps in North Korea, and they hold an estimated 80,000 to 120,000 people.
Most of the people that get sent to the political camps haven't actually committed a crime. Most don't even know why they are there.
Even children that were born in the political concentration camps are treated as prisoners.
It's sad to say and think that even a small child that is born there is being treated inhumane. They should just let the child go with its family as soon as it's born, because it's not like they had a choice where they were going to be born. And it's sad to say that even North Korea's closest allies that could probably help stop the imprisonment, they actually agree with the imprisonment of the children and the families.
North Korea's relationship with its most influential allies is complicated because historically China and the former Soviet Union supported North Korea during the Korean War, and afterwards they kept close economic ties.
But the relationship between North Korea and China haven't actually been really smooth. But there are plenty of social and political information that is forcing them to become allies. Also, China shares a land border with North Korea and is North Korea's main trading partner.
In 2016, China was responsible for more than 90% of North Korea's trade, such as coal, oil fish, and iron.
The relationship is becoming unsteady as China struggles to hold on to the reins of Kim Jong-un because he's building a nuclear arsenal.
Also, Russia and North Korea share a slim border that acts as a route for supplies such as fuel.
Just like China, Russia is a benefactor of North Korea. North Korea is basically creating more enemies than ever because of the Kim dynasty.
All the countries are drifting apart from North Korea because of the nuclear weapons. North Korea is doing everything on purpose just to have as many enemies as possible.
North Korea has become one of the most depressing countries. Everyone has been asking if South Korea and North Korea are enemies. And the answer is yes and no. Recently, they have come to terms with each other, but that doesn't mean their differences have been put aside. They have this complicated relationship as a result of a complicated history of division that originates in the Cold War.
So what basically happened is that the US and the Soviet Union divided the Korean peninsula. The Soviet ruled in the north and the US ruled in the south.
But then in 1948, separate governments were established in Seoul and Pyongyang, forming South and North Korea respectively.
So legally speaking, the Koreans are still enemies because they are technically still at war since the war ended in a peaceful agreement in 1953. They now treat each other as sovereign states in accordance with international laws.
To help save the North Koreans, you can help by donating canned foods,
Clothing.
and necessities.
Thank you for watching our TED Talk, and we hope you're able to spread an awareness for the people in North Korea.
Hashtag Save the North Koreans.